Hey everybody, how's it going out there? Hope you guys are doing okay. In a previous episode I talked about RV regulators. I'll put a link above, you guys can check it out. But this one here, I'm going to talk about water filters. You might have this blue one here. They come in different sizes. The larger ones, small ones, clear ones, white ones, you name it. But come on back, I'm going to show you what's going to be inside of this water filter, and I will say, you might want to change out your filters or something else a little bit better. Not saying these are bad, well, they can be. But come on back, I'll show you guys. So in the introduction that I showed you guys about this filter here, you might want to change this out. Most of us have this here. Believe you me, I have it on my rig as well, but I've kind of learned over the years what can happen to your rig and something that you don't want to happen to your own rig. Inside of your water filter, you have this little sponge right here. You have this here, and you also have this little disc. There's a little flange there that holds onto that. The little disc goes in, water filter goes in, or the filter goes in, and this charcoal material right here, this stuff here is packed in most of this filter right here. And you've seen the little arrow that where the water goes in and it comes out. But I'm going to show you guys what happens. That little filter is not enough because it's going to choke out your water system and other things where even your pressure, even though you might have that regulator or the little regulator you have or the one with the little display on it, this here episode will give you guys or enlighten you guys on what you might do or what you might want to do to change out your system, because what I'm going to show you guys might surprise you. Water that flows through the system, I'm by no means a water expert, but I do have common sense when it comes to a water system and what it doesn't look right. But water that flows through, other than chlorine and nitrates and all that stuff, you have your 7 main components that flow through your water system, especially at a campground that use well water. Normally you have your filter, it goes in, there's a little adapter, it comes out, and it goes out from here, from the main water source. And what happens, the arrow, and you see here, water flows forward, your high flow here, and this connects to your water system. Well, in this case here, I have something a little different. I have what's called a 2-stage, which I can convert it now, is to a 3-stage water filter system, which I have your filter here. It's your micron filter, I'll show you in a bit, and your charcoal filter. Remember that charcoal that I showed you guys that in that cup? So the different stages, you have your sediment filter, or I call it 1 micron or 5 micron. There's different sizes of different thickness you got. The lower the micron, the tighter the pores. And you can see there's a lot of brown sediment right here. It's on my hand. So imagine this here going through your water system without having a proper filter system, where it's kind of slimy too. But it used to be white like that. This is called a sediment filter. This is a 1 micron, and you get different sizes. It depends on your rig and rig size. But I have this 2-stage, which I converted to a 3-stage filter. Here's a little close-up view. You have your 1 micron, which I showed you. It used to be white, and now it's brown. And then from here, in this canister, water flows from your regulator through your white water hose, going across to your blue, or white, whatever you want to use. Don't use green, of course. And then it goes through this charcoal filter right here. So from there, what we want to do, I want to change out this 1 micron. I'll change out the charcoal as well, but I want to show you this here, what it looks like now, because I changed this out several weeks back, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it should probably look like this here, maybe a little bit lighter, but that brown sediment you can see here, imagine that going through your RV system, is going to just choke out your water system, especially when you see that you have a filter like this here, and that little bitty sponge that I showed you earlier. Imagine that sponge like this here. It's about this much, I should say. And taking your RV back to the dealership because you're thinking your water pressure is low, something's wrong. But what happens is that sediment, it clogs up your whole system, where when it's wet, it's slimy and nasty looking. I'm going to put my gloves on here, and you can use this here like a canister wrench that will help you take this off. There's going to be water coming out of here, but that's fine. So we'll give this here a good turn. It's going to be kind of tight, and you let that go, and then one part you can kind of take that off, and like that, and you can put that to the side. Now water is going to come out of here, of course, and that's no problem. Take that out. So now I put this filter in here. This filter used to be white like I showed you earlier, and put that to the side, and now this is the way it looks. It looks almost like the one I took out earlier. See that sediment in there? How it went from this here to this. Now you can see that you might want to change out your filter as an upgrade in your system. And you can see all of that brown water that's in there, and that's not good coming through your system. That'll choke out your PEG system like I mentioned earlier. I'll go ahead and dump this water out. You can see how brown it is. That's nasty water. I'll turn my main off, turn this back on, and that way I can have some water coming out of here. You can clean this off like so. And this water here from this spigot, it's not filtered water, so you can still see the brownness in there, and that's not good. So dumping that out, and what we're going to do is clean that out like so. Doesn't matter with the outside, but we're going to clean this out the best way we can. And now it's time to reinstall this 1 micron sediment filter right here. I'm going to install this one here, so let's put this one in. It should be pretty straightforward. So I'll take off my gloves here, and I'll go ahead and just take this filter off, this plastic off the filter rather, and put that in my pocket, and that's the way it looks. Eventually it's going to look like this. So I'll put a new one in here. Basically drop that in. Don't need my gloves right now. And you just put that back on. And then I can use my little wrench here for this canister filter, and you can just tighten that down. You don't want any water seeping out. Like so. Give that a nice little tug there. We'll wiggle that off. And now what we're going to do is take off the one for the carbon filter. So get my gloves back on. Okay, not bad. Just remember there's 7 contaminants, major contaminants. I'll put a link in the description right there that you don't want in your water system. You know, of course you got rust and iron and all that stuff, but you can see still that still came out brown, because this brown one that I showed you, it was just getting choked out. So this is what was going on here. Now I made sure my O-rings on my washers are secured. I'll put that one on, make sure that's secured. Got one in the bottom. You can put a little water around this section right here. That'll help it be adhered. So I'll press that in, and I'll put that on like so. Okay, go ahead and just screw that canister back on. Get it started. You can use your wrench to finish it up, to tighten it up. Just tighten this here. You don't want it too tight because it'll be hard to get off after a while. I'll give that a little nudge like that. That should do it. All right, it's as simple as pie. This here, I mentioned those 7 contaminants. I can keep my eye on the filter throughout the next several weeks. By this demonstration purpose only, I wanted to show you guys what's in your water. I mentioned about a 3-stage right here. You saw the 2, and now if I open this here up, you have your other canister here that has a charcoal filter also inside. I might want to try something different as put my main charcoal here, and since the water here at this campground is very hard, as you can see earlier from the brown filter, I probably go ahead and just put I'm gonna try it out to see how it works. Put my carbon activated canister filter here in this canister and put 2 1-micron filters in the canister that I was just replaced earlier. So we'll see what happens, but right now I'll see how that works. I'll wait a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and I'll see how that works out. And if not, I'll put my 2 just to clear out that water. You want the water to be as clear as possible coming through your rig, because like I mentioned, you don't want that gunk and all that stuff, sediment, to get inside of your rig and you have a low water pressure system. But this is here. It's the other canister that looks like this here. This here came out of the previous one that I just took out a bit ago, but it doesn't look bad on the inside. It's still kind of clear, but my main concern is that sediment filter or micron filter. I'll go ahead and turn my main water system back on from the spigot and make sure there's no leaks on your canister filter, which I don't have any leaks. It looks great. Once you do that, you're good to go. And then just periodically, I mentioned 1 or 2 weeks, 7 days, 12 days, 10 days, whatever case may be, 14 days, you can check this here out, because you can also buy these filters here in a pack of 6 or more. We can even buy 1. And this runs about 20 bucks for 6, less than $5 for a filter, and it's not bad. I just don't want to have to drink this. This is what I don't want to be drinking, and that's going to help out on your pressure inside of your rig. And I'm going to now show you how it looks in a bucket. For demonstration purpose, I'm going to show you guys this bucket I use, my little trash bucket here, and I'm going to turn the water on. And the water pressure is way higher than it was before I changed this here. I can just notice the difference. But remember I told you guys about that brown water, how it looks, that rust, calcium, and all that other stuff, nasty contaminants in there. I'll go ahead and turn that off. And as you can see the difference, how clear that looks. That makes you want to change your water filters or the type of them, or do an upgrade in your rig. So I think that's pretty cool. This here I got from the water faucet in the kitchen of TIMROVER, and you can see how clear it is. It may not be the best water, but it's clearer than what I showed you earlier. I'll just go ahead and dump that out, and using the sprayer here, turn it on. There we go. And I'll go ahead and just spray some water in there. Give you guys an idea what the water looks like coming out of a campground. It's a little bit different than the clear water you saw earlier, even though it's kind of not brown, but it's not clear as you saw earlier, and the one from the spigot. So imagine water that you have from your spigot and water from your filter. The difference is this stuff will build up over time, and it'll look like that brown filter that I showed you earlier. So I just want to give you guys an idea what to look for that you might want to change in your RV water system. I hope this helps you out, and I think it's pretty cool. I'll keep my eye on this one here in TIMROVER, but basically that's how you change your water filter. Most water filters that I've seen, from their blue ones to clear ones to the white ones, doesn't have an expiration date. They might tell you in the box change it every 6 months or whatever the case may be, but that brown one that I showed you earlier, this here was only a few weeks, and that's not good. So the best thing to do is go ahead and get a 2-stage, 3-stage, whatever you like, a better water system than that inline filter that I showed you for your rig. But until then, give me a thumbs up if you like, hit the subscribe button below, and I'll bring you other tips, tricks, ideas, stuff like this here to the rig, even to the Jeep. Until then, you guys take care of yourself, be good to yourself. See you next time. Bye.